Computex 2024, we got to talk about this, so let's get right to it. You know, a lot of things have been announced in these last few days, but the main things that I'm going to focus on today is going to be AMD and NVIDIA because a lot of interesting things were announced for AI. And I think a lot of interesting things for the everyday consumer that I think will be very nice and everybody will be shocked as to how good these things might actually be. So let's take a closer look. So AMD at Computex, one of the first things that really caught my eye was the new Strix processors. You know, these things can actually reach 50 tops, which tops is trillions of operations per second. And I'll put that on the screen here. But so now what they are doing is they've decided to use NPUs with CPUs along with GPUs on the main die to compute AI. And this is giving them the capabilities of computing so much when it comes to AI task. It's just beautiful to see what AMD has been able to reach because right now I would definitely say they are the best processor builders in the world. Graphics card, that's another thing we'll have to talk about another time, but you know where NVIDIA is currently king in that, but the MI300X makes us think a little bit twice depending on what we are actually testing or anything like that, but that's for another time. So the Strix processors, I mean, this is a really big successful feat for AMD. Think about it. They're for laptops, so they have to be low power. They have to give you battery efficiency so you can use your laptop for as long as humanly possible. And at the same time, it has to be portable. So I wonder how it will perform when it's unplugged versus when it's plugged in because it's not getting full power advantage being used there. So I really wonder how that will actually work out, and I really can't wait to see. This actually might be one of the reasons why I finally switched my laptop. I've had the same laptop since 2018 because I haven't really seen the big difference in performance gains, nor for gaming. So for that reason, only my desktop has been upgrading and my laptop has, for the most part, stayed the same. So I wonder if this will change the future designs of CPUs. But one thing that I was actually shocked about that AMD did when they announced AM5, and by the way, they did give us two more processors for AM4, and I'll go over that. But one thing that they announced was the new AM5 processors. However, for the desktops, there's no NPU, CPU, and GPU on the same die. They're only still giving you the CPU cores, and of course they will come out with APUs, but those do not have the NPUs. And it makes me wonder, since Apple has been doing this with the M chips, you know, what is the big benefit? Is there a benefit to have that on desktop? Why haven't we gotten that from AMD? You know, even nowadays when they announce new AI training systems, you're really using really high core count Threadripper processors. So I'm actually really curious as to what can be done with NPUs on the developer side, especially for, you know, third party guys who just want to play around with systems and see what we can create also. So this is a worldwide community that can play around with these tasks, you know, and see what can be done. But we did not get a chance to actually get that announced, you know, so once again, that still leaves me wondering what can we do. But even with APUs, I know they're able to cut access to the GPU on the chip so that you can use a discrete graphics card at the same time in case that's what you want to do, and at least take advantage of that for gaming because there are still very inherent benefits of using a discrete graphics card, whether it's on laptop or on desktop. Now, these APUs have definitely been killing it in the handheld gaming space, so that's something we also have to look at here soon, but that's for another day here. But before I mention anything else about AM5, I do want to say AM4 received two more processors, the Ryzen 9 5900 XT, which is a 16-core processor, and the Ryzen 7 5800 XT, which is an 8-core processor. I think this marks about 135 processors you have a choice for AM4 platform. And that's just insane when you really sit back and you think about it because no one really expected AM4 to be supported for this long. But still, AMD is coming and showing us like, hey, not only can we do it, but we are going to do it. And back to back, over and over, they keep proving us wrong for what they can do. We know Moore's Law is dead, but AMD just keeps adding more IPCs to their processors, doing more per clock, and the efficiency speaks for itself. You know, Intel definitely has their hands full with AMD right now. But that also goes for NVIDIA. So with the new AM5 chips, this is something that will also come out in July 2024, so just here in the next month. And we will actually be able to have full access to these. I'm actually looking forward to potentially upgrading from my AM4 system to AM5. I'm not 100% sure. The right move for me may be the Ryzen 9 5900 XT to go to 16 core from the current 5800 that I have, 5800X. So we will see. We will see. That one remains to be seen. But the laptops, I think, are what's catching most of my attention because of the AI capabilities that are directly built in. So now let's switch over to NVIDIA. So with NVIDIA, obviously they're going to be AI focused, and we're going to move on over to them. You know, once I seen the way AMD built the Strix processors with the NPUs and the GPUs, it started to make a lot of sense why NVIDIA is building an entire suite around their product, especially on the hardware side, from their tensor chips to DGX, MGX for their server side, so that they can have modular designs that can be water cooled in case you don't want to air cool them. They use less space because of this. They can connect up to 72 H100s to be one GPU. There's a lot of benefits for the new designs that they definitely have. But one demo that they showed off that really caught my attention, like this one really had me going, was the Earth 2 demo. Think about it. How often do we see weather reports that are completely wrong? So over the next, let's say, decade, if we can actually more accurately predict future weather patterns, from hurricanes to tornadoes to floods, earthquakes, and beyond, what if we can have something that is far more accurate, led by AI? I think this would be something very interesting, and I think it will definitely keep meteorologists busy for many years to come. And that's also something that I think even they're very excited about, that we can see in the near future. But imagine what this can do for creators in the future as well. If we can get AI to predict weather patterns more accurately than humans can with the technology they currently have, what does that do for, let's say, camera workers out there that are shooting films and that have to get certain shots, made ready for production so that it can be used in a film or a TV show, whatever it may be? Do you guys remember a few years ago with OpenAI where you could just type a few words into an engine and ask it to draw a picture for you? Even if you wanted a bear holding a block of cheese, it would do it. Didn't matter what you asked it. Obviously it had limitations for certain things and very specific reasons, especially political. But for the most part, abstract art, it could definitely do very well. Today, however, you can type words and it can create videos. Now, the videos are not perfect, and you can definitely see the shortcomings of the videos and everything. However, what would happen in the next few years, or next few months, let alone next few years or the next decade? How good will those systems be? And once they are so good, will we possibly be able to make movies then from just typing words into a system? If it were long enough, maybe the AI system could make movies or TV shows? Then what happens to the art of producing, especially music artists? We've seen the AI Drake songs. We've seen other artists that were also copied, and they copy their voice and make songs out of it. And if we did not tell you that this was an AI system singing, you actually would have no idea who's actually talking. So what's the actual limit to all of this? This is something that people really have to think about, because a lot of creative works could definitely be in danger. Or even, what about gaming? What if eventually AI could make games from people's instructions without any coding or without any character designing that is needed, because it can use descriptions to put it together? What will happen in game designing companies then? Now, that's nowhere near happening now. That we're very far from that. That's not going to happen today. But let's say over the next 50 to 100 years, what if that's the case? Then how would this change the entire industry of tech? Would tech workers even be needed at this point? Right now, we definitely are, because even with the systems, you still have that human element. But tell me what you guys think would happen over the next 50 to 100 years. And I think this will definitely be a good conversation. But thank you guys for watching, and peace out, y'all.